What sort of messaging, so you said it's a daily thing to be reminded, maybe, I'm paraphrasing, that Jesus is enough. Can you get more specific with that? What sort of messaging, or maybe even speak to somebody who's battling some kind of addiction, born out of some desperate experience in their life or devastating experience in their life? What sort of messaging do you think they need to be hearing? This is to a Christian.
Yeah.
So you're speaking to a Christian who's experienced some devastating moment of despair or sequence of desperate moments, and they've found themselves addicted to alcohol or substance or porn. What kind of messaging do they need to hear daily that would infiltrate their addicted state?
I think two things. One is I think they need to know it's okay to be human, and it's okay to hurt, and it's okay to be lonely, it's okay to acknowledge lack, but don't deny it, just acknowledge it. Acknowledge I have a need here, it's not being met in what I had thought previously were legitimate ways. And so, yeah, I've got a longing here that I'm meeting, I'm allowing to be met in a way that's more destructive than the longing. Right. And so, then I think, just an honest, Sam, if you don't have a walking, talking, living relationship with Jesus, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Because there's no principle I can say, follow this principle or do this ritual or whatever.
But there's a lot of people that think the answer to the question I just asked, what sort of messaging do you need daily, is a message of more principles. You need to pray these 5 things, or you need to listen to these 3 podcasts every day if you're battling addiction. You need to go to these groups and your addiction problem will be cured.
Yeah.
So why are you saying that it's not about a principle then?
Well, I'm saying if you put that first, then you're trying to solve your addiction problem or your lack of need being met problem, we'll say, and you'll become addicted to that. Whatever you take as your medicine for this, then you're addicted to the medicine.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that if you don't have the walking, talking relationship with Jesus, where you can say, Jesus, I got needs met, I don't know what to do. And then he helps you. He may very well introduce you to somebody, your neighbor, friend, family, whatever, say, look, for me in my case, there's grief counseling at my church. They meet every whatever night. You might want to go down there. It's like, okay, I think I will. All right, then it becomes an agency, it becomes a means of God meeting that need rather than me going and doing that, because if you can, you can just, if you go get the solution to it, whatever solution you pick, you'll get addicted to the solution, and then you just got another. You just move from one addiction to another.
Yeah, that's good. I visited that. Have you ever heard of Celebrate Recovery?
Yeah, sure.
It's like a 12 steps type program that I think came out of Rick Warren's church.
Yeah.
And this is not anything bad toward that program, but I did notice several of the people in the group at times would really, really make a big deal out of how important that group was to them.
Yeah.
And it's not mine to judge whether or not that had then become their addiction, but at times it felt that way, of like, well, you replaced your cigarette addiction with this group.
Yeah.
And this group is going to fail you.
Right.
At some point. Somebody's going to break confidence, or there's a snowstorm that's going to happen, and just maybe not in Texas, but there's something that's going to keep the group from being able to meet.
Yeah.
And if the group was the thing that was keeping you from smoking cigarettes, you're probably going to go back to smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
If that was the addiction, right?
Yeah.
And I think because I'm acquainted enough with this space, I've heard similar things to this before. I just, man, maybe it's just more real to me now than it ever has been. Like, you know, if emotional pain is the devastating thing you went through or that you're enduring, it's really, really plausible to me now how people become alcoholics or they become drug addicted, because I will do whatever I can to not feel that thing that I'm feeling right now, because the thing I feel right now is scary. It reminds me of all these memories of this thing that happened or this trauma that occurred or whatever. And I just need to escape it. And I would rather escape it now than have to do the consistent daily disciplined work of like embracing life with Jesus, whatever that looks like. I think it's what I'm trying to get down to, is like me, even as good as what you're telling me is, it doesn't seem to have as quick and meaningful of an effect as maybe a couple quick drinks would.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, you know, I just know that, like, if I'm in deep emotional pain and turmoil, it seems like the logical thing for me to do to just say, I'll just have a couple drinks and not think about it anymore.
Yeah.
Now, I thankfully have the wherewithal to say that's not a permanent solution.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to ask, I'm sorry, this is so jumbled. Can you see how people would arrive at that place of just saying, like, I'm just going to have a couple drinks and go to bed and not think about it?
I not only
get how people...
Yeah, I not only can see that, I can see how you can have, I can see how easy it can become to have, I want more than a couple of drinks. And I want to do it again tomorrow.
That's right.
And the next, in fact, the repercussions of me drinking too much don't seem nearly as dire as the loneliness I feel.
Yes. Say that, hold on, say that again, because I feel like that bottles exactly what I've been trying to say. The repercussions of me drinking too much don't seem near as dire as what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's loneliness or fear or purposelessness, whatever there is in there, it's devastating.
Yeah.
And so it's so easy to say, look, I know it's not the permanent thing, but dadgummit, if it can give me 24 hours, I'm willing to trade some stuff for 24 hours of relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, and this is why I tried to connect this to the church or to Christians. And again, I don't ever want our conversations to turn into this like church hating thing or Christian bashing thing. That's not. I hope it's clear to everybody watching this that that's not. I mean, I'm a part of a church. I believe in, and the church being really.
Well, if
really
the church
important.
if the church doesn't offer the solution, there ain't gonna be no solution.
Correct. So. And drill down deeper into this conversation. How many churches do you know, or faith groups do you know, Christian faith groups, do you know where it is safe, really safe, for a person who's addicted to alcohol, drugs, sex, porn, whatever, to go in to their other, micro community, maybe 10 or 12 people from that assembly, and say, guys, look, I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
I don't know many places where you could do that.
That's true.
And not be shut out or shunned or viewed as like an outcast or like, hey, now you're a care case. Now we've got to sequester you from the body now because you're not safe to the rest of us. You're going to drag other people into your alcoholism or your drug addiction. To me, that compounds the problem, because now if I'm a Christian who my safe community is this church, and I'm really battling something here, and I'm being tempted to just drink at night, every night alone, and I don't know if I can talk to my community group about it or my pastor about it. It's just one compounds the other. It just snowballs.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not safe to talk to about it at the place that supposedly has the solution, then what's to keep you from just continuing to, walk in those destructive behaviors? And so there may be plenty more questions to follow this, but do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
About the church thing?
And a lot of that comes from the cultural influence on the gospel of, the gospel is to make you a better person that doesn't do bad things.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're doing something bad or something's not consistent with the values, then you're a bad person, and so you can't handle being a bad person. It's like that's demeaning to me, so I can't say I'm a bad person. So I just won't tell you the truth. I'll get a handle on it eventually. Until finally, one day you're flat on your back. And that's what happens. That's what happens to us all at some level or another. It's like I finally come to the place to go, okay, I've tried all the idols. I've tried all the options. I've tried all the offerings of addictions, and I can't do it. And God, if you don't do something, I don't know what I'm going to do. So it's at that moment, that you hear the great testimonies, like, Jesus began to bring people into my life. He began to give me hope, whatever. So yeah, but I think, Sam, that the message we're trying to promote is this: God is not trying to make you a better person. He's trying to show you how full of mercy and grace He is.
Hey, thanks so much for watching today. I really hope you were encouraged. As you know, we share all of our content at Kerygma Ventures for free, and we'd love to continue to be able to do so. For those of you who are already a part of our team, thank you so much. You are allowing us to produce this kind of content to share online. And if you're not a part of our team already, then click on the description below and you'll find our website. There are a variety of ways to give, and we would love to have you be a part of the Kerygma Ventures family. Thank you so much.